Ju Kim walked through the sliding glass doors of the Interstellar Defense Research Institute. The doors didn't open at first. They never did. She waited 5 seconds, waved her arms, and finally the sensors picked her up. This happened every day. "Morning, Ju," said the security guard without looking up from his screen. She nodded, though she knew he wouldn't see it. In the elevator, a man stepped in front of her as if she wasn't there. This was normal for Ju. People didn't notice her. Ju was 32 years old, of average height, with straight black hair cut to her shoulders. There was nothing strange about how she looked. She was just forgettable. Even the face-scanning system at work often failed to recognize her. At her desk, Ju opened her computer and checked her latest work. As one of the top quantum physicists at the Institute, she was developing something important: cross-dimensional camouflage. It was a way to make things invisible, not by bending light, but by shifting their quantum position just slightly out of sync with our reality. "Did you finish those calculations?" a voice asked. Ju looked up to see Hyun-woo Park, her lab assistant. He was the only person who really saw her. He was young, just out of university, with kind eyes and a serious face. "Yes," she said, sliding a tablet toward him. "I solved the energy problem. The field can now run for 10 hours on a single power cell." Hyun-woo's eyes widened. That's amazing, Ju. We need to tell Director Choi right away." Ju shook her head. "I sent him 3 emails yesterday. No response." "Then we'll go to his office," Hyun-woo insisted. 20 minutes later, they stood in Director Taehyun Choi's large office. The director was a tall man with gray at his temples and a permanent frown. "Ah, Hyun-woo," Director Choi said, ignoring Ju completely. "What brings you here?" "Sir, Dr. Kim has made a breakthrough in the camouflage project," Hyun-woo said, pointing to Ju. The director blinked, as if just noticing her. "Oh, Dr. Kim, I didn't see you there. I sent you 3 emails," Ju said quietly. "Did you? Must have missed them. Very busy, you know." He waved his hand. "So what's this breakthrough?" Ju explained her work in simple terms. The camouflage field could now last 10 times longer than before. It was a major step forward. "Interesting," the director said when she finished. "Hyun-woo, make sure this gets to the team leaders. Good work bringing this to my attention." Ju's face remained neutral, but her hands tightened into fists. Again, her work was being credited to someone else. It happened all the time. Later that day, Ju sat alone in the Institute's cafeteria. 3 people asked if the seat across from her was taken, not realizing she was there. She ate her lunch silently, watching the room. Scientists and engineers talked excitedly about projects and theories. Security personnel checked IDs and monitored screens. Cleaning staff moved efficiently between tables. Everyone had a place, a purpose that others recognized. Back in her lab, Ju worked late. The building emptied as night fell. Only the security systems and a few night staff remained. This was when she did her best work. Alone, uninterrupted, invisible. "You're still here," Hyun-woo said, appearing at the door. "I'm always here," Ju replied. "I saw Director Choi talking about your breakthrough to the board. He didn't mention your name once." Ju nodded. "That's how it is." "It's not right," Hyun-woo said. "You're the most brilliant person here." "Being seen and being brilliant are different things," Ju said, turning back to her work. On her screen, complex equations solved problems that most of her colleagues didn't even know existed yet. In a world that barely noticed her, Ju saw things no one else could. One day, that would matter. She just didn't know how soon that day would come. 2 weeks after her breakthrough, Ju sat alone in the monitoring room. It was 3 a.m. No one else wanted the night shift watching deep space signals, but Ju liked the quiet. She sipped her tea and watched the screens. The Institute had listening stations across the solar system. They picked up radio waves, light patterns, and quantum vibrations from space. Most signals were just noise from stars and galaxies, but tonight was different. Ju sat up straight when she saw it. A pattern coming from the Andromeda galaxy. It wasn't random. It repeated every 47 seconds exactly. This isn't natural, she whispered to herself. She ran the signal through analysis programs. The pattern had mathematical precision that couldn't happen by accident. Someone or something was sending this message. Ju worked through the night, breaking down the signal. By morning, she had found something shocking. Hidden in the signal were quantum signatures very similar to her own research. "You look like you didn't sleep," Hyunwoo said when he arrived at 8 a.m. "Look at this," Ju said, pointing to her screen. "It's a message from Andromeda." Hyunwoo leaned closer. "Are you sure? The Deep Space team checks these signals every day." They missed it. "The pattern is subtle, but it's there." She showed him her analysis. "And look at this part. It's using quantum mathematics that only a few people on Earth understand." "What does it say?" Hyunwoo asked. "I think it's a warning." By noon, Ju had prepared a full report. She sent it to Director Choi with an urgent flag. When he didn't respond, she went to his office. "Dr. Kim," Director Choi said, sounding surprised as always to see her. "What brings you here?" "The signal from Andromeda, sir. Did you read my report?" The director looked blank. "Report? I sent it 3 hours ago. It's urgent. We've received a message from another galaxy." Director Choi laughed. "Dr. Kim, our best astronomers monitor those signals. If there was a message, they would have found it." "They missed it," Ju said firmly. "The pattern is hidden in quantum fluctuations. I can prove it." The director sighed. "Send your report to the astronomy team. If they think it's worth looking into, they'll let me know." "But sir..." "That will be all, Dr. Kim." Ju returned to her lab, frustrated but not surprised. She forwarded her report to the astronomy team, knowing they probably wouldn't understand it. Her work crossed too many scientific fields. That night, she returned to the monitoring station. The signal was still coming in. She recorded everything and took it back to her private lab. For the next week, Ju worked on the signal every night. She broke it down into parts and began to translate it. The message wasn't complete yet, but what she could read worried her. Coming, danger, prepare, not alone. One night, Hyunwoo found her asleep at her desk. He gently woke her. "You need to rest properly," he said. "No time," Ju mumbled, pointing to her screen. "Look." Hyunwoo read her translation. His eyes widened. "Is this accurate?" "As accurate as I can make it. Someone is warning us about something coming to Earth." "Have you told anyone else?" Ju laughed without humor. "I tried. No one listens." "Then we need proof they can't ignore," Hyunwoo said. Together, they worked on the signal for another month. The astronomy team had dismissed Juwoo's report without really reading it. Director Choi had forgotten about it entirely. Then one night, the signal changed. It became stronger, clearer. Juwoo translated it quickly. "They are coming. 3 months. Not what they seem. Danger." Juwoo sent another urgent report to Director Choi and the astronomy team. Again, they ignored her. "We need to prepare anyway," she told Hyunwoo. "Whatever's coming, we'll be ready even if no one else is." She didn't know then how right she was. In exactly 3 months, everything would change. And Juwoo's lifetime of being invisible would suddenly become Earth's greatest advantage. Exactly 3 months after the final warning, it happened. Juwoo was working late in her lab when all the screens suddenly flashed red. A message appeared. "Unknown object entering Earth orbit." Juwoo checked the Institute's satellite feeds. A massive ship at least 2 kilometers long had appeared near the moon. Somehow, it had passed all of Earth's early warning systems without being detected. The Institute burst into action. Scientists ran through hallways. Security teams moved into position. Juwu tried to tell people about her signal translations, but in the chaos, no one stopped to listen. Director Choi's voice came over the speakers. All senior staff report to the main conference room immediately. Juwu went to the conference room. It was packed with scientists, military officers, and government officials. No one noticed when she slipped in. She took a seat in the back corner. The alien vessel appeared 30 minutes ago, Director Choi said, pointing to a large screen showing the ship. They have made no aggressive moves. And now they're sending us a message. The room fell silent as a voice filled the speakers. It spoke perfect Korean, then repeated itself in other languages. People of Earth, we are the Gyal. We come in peace. We wish to meet with your leaders. Juwu felt cold. The voice sounded wrong. It was too perfect, too smooth. World governments quickly organized a response team. Ambassador Do-Yoon Lee, a tall, confident man with a famous smile, was chosen to lead Earth's delegation. 12 other representatives from major countries would join him. We need our best scientists on the technical team, Director Choi announced. He read from a list. Juwoo's name was not on it. Sir, Juwoo said, standing up. I've been studying signals from Andromeda for 3 months. They warned us about this arrival. Several people turned to look at her, surprised to notice her in the room. Director Choi frowned. Dr. Kim, this is hardly the time for. I have proof, Juwoo said. The signals match patterns in the alien transmission. We have our team selected. Director Choi said firmly. Please return to your regular duties. 3 days later, the Gyal ship sent down a smaller vessel. It landed in a large field outside New Seoul that had been prepared for the meeting. The world watched on screens everywhere. Juwoo and Hyunwoo watched from her lab. The small ship opened, and 5 aliens emerged. They were tall and thin, with skin that seemed almost see-through. They looked almost human, except their movements were too precise, too perfect. Ambassador Lee stepped forward with a big smile. On behalf of Earth, we welcome you. The leader of the aliens bowed slightly. I am Commander Yun of the Gyal. We have traveled far to meet you. As the formal greetings continued, Juwoo studied the aliens carefully. Something wasn't right. Their movements followed a pattern, a mathematical sequence she recognized from the warning signals. Hyunwoo, look at how they moved, she said. It's the same pattern from the signals. Hyunwoo nodded slowly. What does it mean? I don't know yet. But look at their skin. It's not just transparent. It's shifting slightly, like it's not quite solid. The meeting on the field continued. The Gyal presented gifts, advanced technology that they said would help Earth. Ambassador Lee accepted them gratefully. Everyone seemed happy with the first contact. Everyone except Juwoo. That night, she went back to the signals from Andromeda. There was one part she hadn't fully translated. As she worked on it, the words became clear. Not what they seem. Look beyond. 2 faces. Juwoo sat back, her heart racing. The Gyal weren't showing their true selves, and no one but her had noticed. 2 weeks after first contact, the Gyal were everywhere. They visited major cities, met with leaders, and shared some of their technology. People loved them. News shows talked about the new era of peace and the alien friends. Juwoo didn't trust any of it. She watched videos of the Gyal for hours, taking notes on their behavior. Something was definitely wrong. Look at this, she told Hyunwoo one night in her lab. She played a video of Commander Yun meeting with world leaders. Watch what happens when he turns his head. Hyunwoo leaned closer. I don't see anything strange. Exactly. You should see a slight blur when he turns quickly, but you don't. It's like your brain just fills in the missing part. Hyunwoo looked confused. What are you saying? The Gyal emits some kind of frequency. It affects how humans see them. Juwoo pointed to her computer. I've been measuring it. When they're present, there's a specific wave pattern that interferes with normal brain activity. How can you see it if no one else can? Juwoo smiled a little. I think it's the same reason people don't notice me. My brain processes visual information differently. I've always thought it was a problem, but maybe it's not. The next day, Juwoo took a small device to the cafeteria. A Gael representative was visiting the institute. The alien sat with Director Choi and other important scientists, talking and smiling. Juwoo sat nearby, watching. Her device measured the frequencies in the room. The numbers confirmed her theory. The Gael was emitting waves that affected human perception. That evening, something even stranger happened. Juwoo saw Dr. Han, a senior physicist, talking with a Gael in a hallway. The alien touched Dr. Han's shoulder. For a split second, Juwoo saw something impossible. The alien's hand seemed to melt into Dr. Han's body. The next day, Dr. Han looked the same, but something was different. He moved more stiffly. His smile never reached his eyes. When he thought no one was looking, his skin shifted slightly, becoming more transparent. "They're replacing people," Juwoo whispered to Hyunwoo later. "The Gael are taking over humans, one by one." "That's impossible," Hyunwoo said. "Someone would notice." "No, they wouldn't. The frequency makes people overlook these details." Juwoo showed him her notes. "I've counted 15 staff members who have changed in the past week." Hyunwoo still looked doubtful. "If you're right, we need proof." The next day, they followed Dr. Han after work. He went to a small building near the edge of the city. 20 other people entered the same building, all of them staff from the institute. Juwoo and Hyunwoo snuck around to a window at the back. What they saw changed everything. Inside, the humans stood in a circle. In the center was a Gael. One by one, the humans stepped forward. The Gael touched them, and their skin became transparent. Then their faces changed, becoming more like the alien's face. "They're not just replacing people," Juwoo whispered. "They're turning them into Gael." Just then, Dr. Han turned toward the window. His eyes, now slightly glowing, looked right at them. "Run." Juwoo grabbed Hyunwoo's arm. They ran through dark streets, not stopping until they reached Juwoo's apartment. They were both breathing hard. "Now do you believe me?" Juwoo asked. Hyunwoo's face was pale. "Yes. What do we do?" "I need to adapt my camouflage technology. I think I can make a device that disrupts their frequency." Juwoo went to her desk and started working. "No one will believe us if we just tell them. We need a way to make everyone see the truth. If the Gael realize what you're doing, they'll come after you," Hyunwoo said. Juwoo smiled grimly. "Luckily, no one ever notices me. Not even aliens, it seems." But as she worked through the night, Juwoo wondered how long her invisibility would protect her, and how many humans were already gone. For 3 days, Juwoo barely slept. She worked on her device, while Hyunwoo watched the news and brought her food. The reports were all about the wonderful Gael and their gifts to humanity. "More people are changing," Hyunwoo said, looking at his tablet. "I've been marking everyone at the institute who moves differently now. It's up to 28 people." Juwoo nodded without looking up from her work. "Director Choi changed yesterday. I saw him in the hallway. His skin flickered when he thought no one was watching." On the 4th day, Juwoo finished a small round device. It fit in her palm and glowed with a soft blue light. "Is that it?" Hyunwoo asked. "Yes, it should disrupt the Gael's frequency." Juwoo handed it to him. "Put it in your pocket and press the button." Hyunwoo did as she said. The device hummed quietly. Nothing seemed to happen. "I don't feel any different," he said. "You won't. Let's test it." Juwoo checked her watch. Dr. Kang usually gets coffee at the shop across the street around this time. She changed 3 days ago. They walked to the coffee shop and sat at a table. A few minutes later, Dr. Kang entered. She was a small woman with short hair who worked in the biology department. Hyunwoo gasped. "Her skin. I can see through it." "Keep your voice down," Juwoo whispered. "Just watch." Dr. Kang ordered her coffee. As she waited, her face shifted slightly. The shape of her eyes changed, becoming more like the Gaiol's eyes. How did I not see this before? Hanmu whispered. The frequency blocked your perception, Ju explained. My device cancels it out. Now you can see them as they really are. They tested the device for 2 more days. It worked perfectly. Anyone carrying it could see the Gaiol hiding inside human bodies. We need to find others who might be immune like me, Ju said. People who the Gaiol might overlook. How do we do that? I've been thinking about my condition. I've always been socially invisible. Doctors once told me I have a rare brain structure. Maybe others with similar conditions would also be immune. Ju searched medical records at the institute. She found one name that stood out, Jina Kang, a military officer assigned to the institute's security team. Her file noted a minor perceptual processing anomaly. They found Jina at the training facility. She was tall and strong, with a serious face and sharp eyes. Officer Kang, Ju said, can we speak with you privately? Jina looked at them with suspicion. What about? The Gaiol, and how some people aren't what they appear to be. Jina's eyes widened slightly. My office. Now. In her small office, Jina locked the door and turned to them. You see it too, don't you? The way they flicker sometimes. Ju felt relief wash over her. Yes. You're immune to their influence, at least partially. I thought I was going crazy, Jina said. No one else notices when their skin goes clear or when their faces shift. I tried to report it, but my commander told me to get more sleep. Ju explained everything. The warning signal, the frequency, and how the Gaiol were slowly replacing people. I've made a device that lets anyone see them. She finished, showing Jina the small round object. But we need help to expose them. Jina thought for a moment. My sister has the same condition as me. She's a nurse at Central Hospital. And I know 2 others in the military who report seeing strange things about the Gaiol. That's a start, Ju said. We need to find more people like us. People who are invisible or overlooked. The quiet ones, Hanmu added. The ones no one notices. We'll build a resistance, Jina said firmly. While the Gaiol focus on replacing the important people, the unimportant ones will be their downfall. Ju nodded. For the first time, she felt hope. Her lifetime of being invisible might just save humanity. 1 week later, Ju, Hyunwoo, and Jina met in an old storage room deep in the institute's basement. With them were 8 other people, all with the same condition that made them partially immune to the Gaiol's influence. We've confirmed 53 Gaiol replacements in the institute alone, Jina said, pointing to a map on the wall, and at least 30 in the government offices downtown. They're targeting leaders and scientists first, said Minho, a quiet janitor who had worked at the institute for 20 years. No one notices us cleaning staff, so I can go anywhere. I've seen them changing people in the special projects wing. Ju nodded. We need to make more disruptor devices. I have parts for 10 more, but we'll need supplies for the rest. Sumin, Jina's sister who worked as a nurse, raised her hand. I found 2 more people at the hospital who can see through the Gaiol disguise. They said the aliens are taking over the medical director and head surgeons. Ju wasn't surprised. The Gaiol were smart. They were replacing the most important humans first. We also have news about their plans, Hyunwoo said. He put a tablet on the table. I managed to copy this from Director Choi's computer. There's going to be a global summit in 2 weeks. Leaders from every major country will attend, along with the Gaiol representatives. It's the perfect chance for them to replace world leaders all at once, Ju said. Just then, the door opened. Everyone froze. A young security guard named Shunho stepped in. Sorry I'm late, he said. I had to avoid 3 Gaiol in the hallway. Jina relaxed. Shunho is with us. He can see them too. Shunho looked worried. They're searching for something. I heard Director Choi talking to Commander Yun. They know someone took information from the director's computer, and they're looking for missing research. My research, Ju said quietly. They want my camouflage technology. Why would they need that? Hanwoo asked. They already have their frequency that hides them. Because my technology could help them hide completely, even from people like us who can see through their disguise. Ju stood up. We need to move fast. I have an idea for a larger version of the disruptor. If we can connect it to the broadcast system at the summit, we can expose all the Gaiyol at once. The group worked day and night. They made more small disruptors for their growing resistance. Meanwhile, Ju designed the large disruptor. It would be powerful enough to cover the entire summit building. But they faced problems. They needed special parts that were hard to get, and the Gaiyol were watching more closely now. One night, Ju was working late in her lab when Director Choi walked in. His skin flickered in the dim light, showing his true Gaiyol form underneath. "Dr. Kim," he said with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Working late again." "Just finishing some old projects," Ju said calmly, though her heart raced. "Your quantum camouflage research. Where is it?" "I haven't made much progress," she lied. "The energy problems are still unsolved." Director Choi's eyes narrowed. "You reported a breakthrough 3 months ago." "It didn't work out," Ju said. The field collapsed after a few minutes. The director stepped closer. "We need your research, Dr. Kim. The Gaiyol are interested in it. Think of your career." "I'll keep working on it," Ju said. After he left, Ju quickly packed her things. The Gaiyol were getting suspicious. She sent a message to the resistance. "They're looking for me. Meet at backup location." That night, the group gathered in Minho's small apartment. "We have 10 days until the summit," Ju told them. "We need to finish the large disruptor and find a way into the broadcast system." "I can help with that," Junho said. "I've been assigned to the security team for the summit." Ju nodded. The plan was coming together. But time was running out, and now the Gaiyol knew someone was working against them. The day of the global summit arrived. World leaders gathered at the new Seoul International Conference Center, a massive glass building in the heart of the city. Security was tight, with guards checking everyone who entered. The resistance team met one last time in Minho's apartment. Ju showed them the large disruptor device she had built. It was the size of a small suitcase and hummed with energy. "Once we connect this to the main broadcast system, it will disrupt the Gaiyol's frequency throughout the entire building," she explained. "Everyone will see their true form." "The broadcast room is on the 3rd floor, Junho said, showing them a map of the building. "It controls all screens and speakers in the center." Gina laid out small earpieces on the table. "We'll stay in contact with these. Hanwoo, Juwoo, and I will carry the device. Minho and Suman will create a distraction if needed." Each person had a small disruptor in their pocket. They could all see the Gaiyol now, but that made their mission more dangerous. If a Gaiyol noticed them staring or acting differently, they would become targets. "Remember," Ju said quietly, "the Gaiyol still don't notice me much. I'll use that to our advantage." They split into groups and headed to the conference center. Ju carried important parts of the large disruptor in her bag. Hanwoo and Gina had the rest. At the security checkpoint, Ju walked through without anyone stopping her. As usual, the guards barely glanced at her. She waited inside for the others. Hyunwoo passed through next. A guard checked his bag but missed the hidden compartment with the disruptor parts. Gina followed, using her military ID to enter without questions. Once inside, they found a quiet corner to put the device together. "There are Gaiyol everywhere," Hanwoo whispered. Through his small disruptor, he could see at least 10 aliens disguised as humans, moving among the crowds. "Look," Gina pointed discreetly. "Ambassador Lee is with them." Ju saw Ambassador Lee talking with Commander Yun of the Gaiyol. Lee's skin flickered slightly. He had been replaced. "We need to hurry," Ju said. The opening ceremony starts in 20 minutes. They moved toward the elevators. Suddenly, Ju froze. Director Choi was walking straight toward them, flanked by two security guards whose eyes glowed faintly, more guile. "He'll recognize us," Hyunwoo said. "Not me," Ju replied. "You two go left. I'll go right with the device. Meet at the broadcast room." Before they could argue, Ju took the disruptor and walked directly toward Director Choi. As she expected, his eyes slid right past her. Even as a Gaeol, he didn't notice her. She walked by without a problem. Hyunwoo and Gina weren't so lucky. Director Choi stopped them. "Dr. Park," he said to Hyunwoo, "what are you doing here? This area is restricted." "I was invited to observe the technology exchange," Hyunwoo lied. Director Choi's eyes narrowed. "I don't recall approving that." Gina stepped forward. "He's with me, sir. Security authorization." The director looked suspicious. He leaned closer to them, his skin becoming more transparent as he focused. "You two seem familiar somehow." Over her earpiece, Ju heard everything. She had made it to the elevator but couldn't leave her friends. She pressed a button on her small disruptor, turning it to maximum power. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the building. The emergency system had reacted to the power surge from her device. People looked around in confusion. Director Choi was distracted by the alarm. "Report to your stations," he ordered Gina and Hyunwoo, then hurried away. Ju took the elevator to the 3rd floor. The broadcast room door had a keypad lock, but no guard. She used her Institute ID card with a special chip Minho had modified. The door opened. Inside, 2 technicians worked at control panels. They barely looked up when she entered. Ju moved to a corner and began connecting her device to the main system. Her earpiece crackled. "Ju," Gina's voice sounded urgent. "They caught me. Hyunwoo is creating a diversion. You need to activate now." Juwoo's hands moved faster. Just a few more connections. Juwoo's hands were steady as she finished connecting the disruptor to the broadcast system. The 2 technicians in the room still paid her no attention. Her social invisibility was protecting her once again. From her earpiece came the sounds of chaos. "They'd got Gina," Hyunwoo was saying, his voice breathless. "I set off the fire alarms on the 2nd floor as a distraction. Security is everywhere. I'm almost ready," Ju whispered. She connected the final wire. The disruptor hummed louder, drawing power from the building system. One of the technicians finally looked up. "Hey, what's that noise?" Before he could stand, Ju pressed the activation button. The disruptor sent a pulse through the entire broadcast system. Every screen, speaker, and digital device in the building received the signal. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then one of the technicians gasped. He was looking at his colleague, whose skin had suddenly become transparent. The Gaeol disguise was failing. Ju watched the screens showing the main conference hall. World leaders and diplomats were staring at each other in horror. Some people's skin was flickering, revealing the alien forms beneath. Others were backing away in fear. "It's working," Ju whispered into her earpiece. In the conference hall, Ambassador Lee was on stage with Commander Yun. Both of them were changing before everyone's eyes, their human disguises fading away. Their true forms were tall and thin with slightly glowing eyes and transparent skin that revealed strange organs beneath. Chaos erupted. Human security guards drew weapons. People ran for the exits. The Gaeol who had been disguised as humans were suddenly exposed and vulnerable. Ju adjusted the disruptor, increasing its power. The broadcast system sent the signal to every TV and radio station connected to the summit. All across the city, people could now see the truth. The technician who wasn't a Gaeol backed away from his colleague in terror. He ran from the room without noticing Ju. The Gaeol technician's eyes fixed on her. "You," it said in a strange, echoing voice. "You are the invisible one." Ju stood her ground. Not invisible, just overlooked. The door burst open. Director Choi entered, his human disguise now completely gone. Behind him were two more Gyal. "Dr. Kim," he said, "we should have paid more attention to you." "Yes," Ju said, "you should have." The director moved closer. "Turn it off. Now." "It's too late," Ju said. "The whole world can see you now." From her earpiece came Hyunwoo's voice. "Ju, they're coming for you. I can't reach you. There are too many of them." Director Choi smiled, a strange expression on his alien face. "Your friends can't help you." "The camouflage technology, where is it? Why do you need it? Your disguises were working fine until now. We needed it to hide from those like you, the few who could see through our frequency." A new voice spoke from the doorway. "She was never a threat to you, until you made her one." Commander Yun stood there, his true Gyal form fully visible. He was taller than the others, with eyes that glowed brighter. "You," he said to Ju, "we knew about you from the beginning. The human who others don't notice. We watched you receive the warning signals. We saw you working against us. Then why didn't you stop me?" Ju asked. "Because you were nothing. Invisible to your own kind. Ignored by your leaders. What threat could you pose?" The commander's voice was cold. "That was our mistake." On the screens, Ju could see the summit in complete chaos. Human security forces were fighting the exposed Gyal. In the streets, people watched screens in shock as the aliens' true forms were revealed. "The last to notice you," Commander Yun said, "will be the first to fall. We overlooked you, and now we pay the price." He raised a hand holding a strange device. Energy crackled around it. "But you won't live to see our defeat," he said. Ju stood tall. The disruptor was still sending its signal worldwide. Even if she died now, humanity knew the truth. The invisible woman had made sure of that.